Have you ever walked through a city and wondered what's buried deep beneath your feet? What if I told you that under one of the most famous churches in the world, there's a metro station that was never used? Right under the beautiful Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, there's something hidden, something strange. Years ago, people planned to build a subway station there. It was supposed to help millions of people travel through the city faster, but that never happened. Why did they stop building it? What went wrong? And why is the station still sealed off, forgotten in the dark? In today's video, we're digging into a mystery that's been buried for decades. A project meant to move the city forward, but instead, it vanished underground. You're watching Build to Collapse, where we explore the hidden truths behind the world you thought you knew. If you're curious about the secrets beneath the surface, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story like this one. Let's step into the shadows and find out what really happened beneath the Sagrada Familia. The dream of a metro beneath a masterpiece. Barcelona is a city full of life. It's known for its bright streets, tasty food, sunny beaches, and beautiful buildings. And right in the middle of it all stands the most famous one of them all, the Sagrada Familia. This huge church was the dream of a man named Antoni Gaudí, a very talented architect. He started designing it way back in the late 1800s. And believe it or not, even after more than 140 years, the church still isn't finished. But here's something most people don't know. In the 1960s, city planners had a bold idea. What if they built a subway station right under the Sagrada Familia? At the time, Barcelona's metro system was expanding quickly. People needed easier ways to move across the city, and one of the big projects was a new metro line called Line 2. And yes, they actually planned to build one of the stops directly beneath the famous church. Why put a metro station under a church? From a city planner's point of view, the idea made a lot of sense. The Sagrada Familia is one of the busiest spots in all of Barcelona. Tourists from all over the world come to see it, and many locals live and work nearby. So having a metro station right under it seemed like the perfect plan. It would make travel easier. People could get in and out of the area without dealing with traffic. The whole neighborhood would feel better connected to the rest of the city. But there was one big problem: the church itself. Gaudí's Sagrada Familia isn't just any building. It's special, it's holy, it's complicated and fragile. A one-of-a-kind piece of art that needed to be protected. Construction begins. Carefully. In the 1960s and 1970s, work on Line 2 of the metro began, little by little. The plan was to make this line run across the city, and one of the main stops would be at the Sagrada Familia. Engineers got to work underground. They poured concrete, dug deep tunnels, and started building the platforms where the trains would stop one day. For a while, it looked like everything was going as planned. Quietly beneath the ground, the station was starting to take shape. But up above, the Sagrada Familia was still being built. And not everyone liked the idea of a subway growing underneath such an important and unfinished church. Concerns were beginning to rise. Gaudí's legacy and the rising concerns. Gaudí was no longer alive. He had passed away in 1926 after being hit by a tram, not far from the church he loved so much. But his dream didn't die with him. The Sagrada Familia was still under construction, slowly, piece by piece, just like Gaudí had imagined in his designs. For many people, the church wasn't just a building. It was a holy place, a work of art, something truly special that needed to be protected, no matter what. So when people heard that a metro line was being built right under it, they started to worry. Would the shaking from trains harm the church? Could digging tunnels underneath cause cracks? Would all those years of careful building be ruined by machines below? Preservationists pushed back. By the 1980s, the argument over the metro station got louder and harder to ignore. Architects, historians, and church leaders began speaking out. They were worried. Experts said the Sagrada Familia was too delicate for a big project like this. Even a small shake underground could cause cracks, or worse, damage that would last forever. People living in the area also joined the fight. They loved the church. It was a symbol of their city, and they didn't want it harmed just to make travel a little easier. The Catholic Church spoke up too. To them, this wasn't just a building. It was a place of faith, beauty, and deep meaning. With so many voices speaking out, the city's leaders had to ask themselves, was this metro station really worth the risk? City changes direction. By the early 1990s, after years of slow work and growing worries, the city finally made a big choice. They decided to change the path of Line 2. Instead of building the metro line right under the Sagrada Familia, they chose a new route that would go around it. The nearby stations would be improved instead, and the original station under the church would be left behind. Yes, that's right. They had already built part of the station, but now they were going to just leave it. The platforms were sealed shut, the tunnels were closed off, and the work stopped completely. Just like that, the station that was meant to serve millions became a quiet, forgotten ghost. What's left behind? Today, most people have no idea that there's an unfinished metro station hidden beneath the Sagrada Familia. Every day, tourists walk above it. They take photos of the tall towers, admire the colorful glass windows, and enjoy the beauty of the church. But far below them, under layers of earth and concrete, there's a forgotten piece of the past. A metro station that was never used. A tunnel that doesn't go anywhere. It's dark down there, dusty, quiet. Some engineers believe it could still be finished someday, but most people think it's better to leave it alone. After all, not everything that starts needs to be completed, especially when it's buried under something so special. Could it have been finished? Technically, yes. The station could have been finished. With enough time, money, and modern tools, it was possible. These days, building tunnels is much safer than before. Cities around the world have built metro lines near old or important buildings, sometimes even right under them. But in this case, the risk was just too big. The Sagrada Familia isn't like any other building. It's one of a kind. And even today, it's still under construction. Finishing it is one of the most difficult building jobs in the world. Adding train tunnels underneath all that work didn't feel right. Sometimes, just because something can be done doesn't mean it should be done. Metro versus monument, the bigger story. The story of the abandoned metro station under the Sagrada Familia isn't just a strange piece of history. It means something more. It's about a moment when two powerful ideas clashed, moving forward with modern transport and protecting something special that can't be replaced. Cities are always growing. New streets, new buildings, new systems. But what should we do when progress gets too close to something priceless? Do we build through it, around it, or stop completely? In Barcelona, they made their choice. They chose to stop. To protect the past, even if it meant leaving the future unfinished. Strange choices in urban planning. Barcelona is a city full of beauty, art, and creative ideas. But like many places, it has made some unusual choices when it comes to city planning. The Sagrada Familia metro station is just one example of a project that was started, but never finished. And it's not the only one. Around the city, you might find roads that stop without reason, staircases that lead to nothing, and tunnels built for trains that never came. Why does this happen? Sometimes it's because of money. Sometimes it's because of politics. And other times the timing just isn't right. With the Sagrada Familia station, it all came down to one thing: finding the right balance between honoring the past and building for the future. Gaudí's message from the grave. Antoni Gaudí once said, "My client is not in a hurry." He was talking about God, and how the Sagrada Familia could take as much time as needed to be built the right way. Even more than 100 years later, his words still feel true. The basilica is still growing. New towers are going up. Skilled workers carefully shape each stone, paint every mural, and place each piece of glass by hand. Every little detail is important. Now imagine trying to build a fast, noisy train right underneath all of that. Maybe stopping the station wasn't just about fear of damage. Maybe it was about showing respect to the work, to the place, and to Gaudí's vision. What the abandoned station teaches us. There's something a little sad, almost haunting, about a place that was supposed to be full of people, full of life, but never got the chance. The metro station under the Sagrada Familia is one of those places. It reminds us that not every idea, even if it makes sense, is the right one. Some places are just too special, too delicate, too full of meaning to be changed. And maybe, just maybe, some stories are meant to stay unfinished. Just like the Sagrada Familia itself, still growing after all these years. Final thoughts. So, next time you see the Sagrada Familia, ask yourself, what secrets are hiding underneath? Beneath the stone towers and stained glass, there's a tunnel that leads nowhere. A metro station built for the future, then completely forgotten. Why did it really stop? Was it fear, respect, or something else? Not every idea needs to be finished. Some places are too special to touch. If you enjoyed this hidden story, give this video a like, subscribe to Built to Collapse, and hit the bell so you never miss another mystery. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones buried just below the surface.